Welcome to this edition of The Osha Street with me, your host, Margaret Mukabeni. Today, our topic of discussion, we are going to look at the roles and responsibilities for each stakeholder in the implementation of health and safety in the workplaces. And I would like us to start with the government. The government in particular is supposed to ensure that in place we have the occupation or the regulations that are relevant to govern the occupational health and safety in the workplaces. For example, in Uganda, we have the Occupational Safety and Health Act 2006, and this is stipulated very clearly by the government to make sure that employers are supposed to ensure the safety, health, and welfare of all the workers in the workplace as far as reasonably practicable. Also, the government is supposed to make sure they do the reviews of this Occupational Health and Safety Act to make sure also that it is relevant and valid for the different workplaces. In addition, still for the government, they're supposed to make sure they do monitoring and checking inspections of all the workplaces to make sure adherence to this Occupational Safety and Health Act is in place in the workplaces, by making sure workplaces are registered under the Occupational Safety and Health Act, making sure implementation of the requirements for the Occupational Safety and Health Act are in place in the workplaces. Let's go to the employer. The employer is supposed to make sure that there is adherence to the Occupational Safety and Health Act in their workplaces by, for starters, having a workplace registration under the Occupational Safety and Health Department in Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development. And then also the employer is supposed to make sure in place there is a policy that is in relation with health and safety, showing or portraying their commitment to ensure the safety, health and welfare of all the stakeholders, whether visitors, workers, contractors, the client, and so on and so forth. Also, the employer is supposed to make sure that there are instructions, procedures in the workplace, guidelines to the workers to make sure the workers know exactly what to do in order to adhere to the Occupational Safety and Health Act. Training is also supposed to be a part for the employer. And let's move to the employee. The employee is supposed to make sure that they follow the rules and regulations that are put in place by the employer, the procedures, the instructions that are put in place. The employee is supposed to make sure they follow these and adhere to them. Also, the employee is responsible to make sure they take care of their safety and the safety of the people that are working around them. How do we do this? As an employee, when you notice that in your working area that there is a hazard or a situation that could cause harm to you or could bring any damage to you, you have a right to speak to your employer. Tell them that in this place I'm not able to work in this place because of ABC, and then you're able to correct it. You can only go back to that workplace when your employer assigns you a safe working area. Whenever your employer makes the work area safe, you can always go back. Also, as an employee, you can always suggest and make suggestions to your employer to make sure the workplace is very, very safe for you. There are other institutions that we may not talk about, the other institutional bodies, the community, and the unions, and so on and so forth. Today we may not discuss that, but there are very many. So everyone has a part to play in this. So it's up to you. It all starts with you. Everyone in our places, let's play our part. Well, for more information, reach out to us through our contacts below, as well as subscribe to our Osha Street YouTube channel with me, your host, Margaret Mukabeni. Stay safe.